Good morning, everybody. Happy May, happy spring.
Good morning.
Good morning. You got your hair cut.
I did get my
It
hair cut.
looks nice.
Thank you.
Your
So,
summer do.
yeah, but it was getting too long there. My doggos are here, so if they start barking or fighting in the background, I apologize in advance. So, good night or joining it on camera. All right. Hello, everybody. So today we've got a roundtable discussion. So, anyone have a question to kick us off?
I'm just wondering what everybody's doing for summer reading. Anything new this year? Anything different?
So they all say battery trouble.
Okay, well, we at Southfield we don't have too much new going on, but we certainly have our summer reading and lots of art things. We're going to be handing out lots of our coloring books, and we got little crayon packs to go with them this time around. So
We have a student art show coming up. We have a local artist that designs coloring book templates. We're passing those out. We've got an activity at our kickoff for adults. We're going to be painting rocks. They better love that. Oh man, I forgot the flavor. I'm getting another ice cream flavor at Treat Dreams. Gonna be vegan and it's gonna be kind of funky. Anyway, it's called The Hungry Caterpillar.
that's a very cute title.
Oh, key lime ice cream with rainbow sprinkles and possibly graham cracker crumbs with a strawberry swirl. So very colorful. Um, what else? I'll think of something else.
Heather popped in the chat that they're doing lots of art themed program, and they also have their 50th anniversary going on this summer. So,
Oh,
congrats on that.
Rats.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
What else is everybody doing over the summer?
Um,
Summer
Hmm.
reading.
Okay. Hi, Midnight. Hi.
Karen, I was just at Huntington Woods yesterday.
I heard. I'm sorry I missed you.
Yep.
I
I
got
don't
the
want to make any other libraries jealous, but there's 9 libraries participating in a little side thing
Mm-hmm.
that you might hear about next year. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I know Deb mentioned about that. So yeah, no, that's cool. It's like last year we did the library visits and it was really good. People loved it.
Yes, stay tuned though.
Okay.
Might be a secret. Might be a state secret. I'm working on something with TLN, everybody. That's all I can say.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know about that.
Stay tuned.
We will stay tuned.
You'll all hear about it.
Attention.
I have to be very Marvel about it. I'm sorry. Can't. I'm not in the Fantastic Four. Stay tuned.
That's
you
hysterical.
could tell us, but then you'd have to kill us, right,
Yeah.
Jeff?
Right.
Right. Yeah, I understand.
Stay tuned.
We're doing a fun thing with the DIA. They have that Inside Out program
Oh,
that you might
yeah.
have heard of, and so they have a reproduction, obviously, of pieces of art at each of our branches, and it's really fun. We have a Matisse, a Degas, and a Van Gogh, And I did a little video of it, and they came last week and they're doing some video, and the chamber's involved, and they're going to do little like bus tours. There's 14 pieces of art throughout Grosse Pointe, and the library got 3 of them, so we feel, honored. And it's really cool. It's really cool. And the pieces are big so that you can see them. And yeah, so that's kind of a fun thing. And I think they do it all the time, and it's now through October, so they'll be up
Oh,
for
that's
quite a
good.
while. So it's kind of a fun thing.
We had one of those last year on the side of
Oh,
the,
good. Yeah.
and then the rec had one, and I don't know that we've done it in the past and we've had like more throughout the city. I don't know if we just had 2 last year, but it was fun. And I did a post about like books that would refer to it and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Let's get my notes.
Getting ahead of summer reading, we've been we've been doing this for several years, and it mostly involved schools in our area, but we've been recently trying to attach our community outreach visits to assisted living and senior centers. And we set them up as actual events where we bring 2 librarians and usually 2 people from circulation, and inform them of all the outreach stuff we have available for the mobility challenge. So last week I had the chance to go to the Avalon Center out here in um, the outskirts of Bloomfield Township, and they set up a really great event. We got to tell them about our library by mail stuff, and then we got to sign up about 20 very interested residents because they had sort of tailored the event to us visiting instead of being a piggyback to some other event, which is normally what we do. Um, it went very well, and I will say, uh, I think it's an innovation we've had, and everybody can chime in on this, but we actually take along a mobile POS system so we can actually do the full sign up right on site when Wi-Fi works properly. So sometimes we do have some snafus there, but doing the on-site, um, we're selling the on-site signups as part of the fanfare, and people are really excited about it. So we might have found a new avenue for that community outreach thing.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's really fun. And they're excited about it because they have no idea. Well, their memories of libraries are a lot different from what the actuality is. So they're pleasantly surprised by all the online and mail, and even I don't know if we do it to senior centers, but we do deliver books to teachers at schools around in our area too. So
That was my
there's
next question, if you tie it in with book delivery.
we haven't yet because the librarians are mainly responsible for setting it up, but I might suggest at the next meeting we go to and see if they'd be interested because it's I think it will be very well received, so
Yeah,
maybe we'll see. So
very cool.
Yeah, that is
very
cool.
excited. Yeah, it's
I was
very
like, 'cause
exciting.
we always do the piggy. We were at the senior center. This is midnight.
Night midnight.
There, put her on camera.
Oh.
But we've never gone there just for the purpose of going there. So that's a great idea. Make make the library the center of it.
Absolutely. And if you got some talkative librarians, I mean, we had a room full of 20 seniors, and I guess basically they went door knocking and said, "Hey, they're here," and they filled up the little community room, and it was great. It was a little too hot to do it outside, but that might have been the only thing that would have made it even a better event, is if we could have done it out in the sunshine. So it was a good deal. It was a really good deal.
Addie popped into the chat that she's still pretty new to her role, but she's here to get some
Hello.
inspiration. So, hey, Addie, welcome. We're glad to have you here. And I love it. I saw you on camera earlier. I love your shirt. So, and Addie,
I don't
feel
miss
free
anything, Abby.
up in the chat, unmute if you have any questions for the group or just like, I don't know how to do this. It doesn't have to be a specific question. We all, we're all in the same boat trying to promote library services. So what benefits one library benefits us all.
One thing I attended was the library makeover. And I know Mary, you were part of that. And it was, oh, I don't remember who, but it was someone else. I don't remember who planned it and put it on. It was through one
Mr.
of the
Smiley.
Huh?
Trent Smiley. Yeah,
Yes.
he used to be with Cattle, a Capital Area District Library. He works for Hoopla now.
Well, now, yes.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot from those sessions. They had 3 sessions. One of them, I believe, was just general, and then one was for smaller libraries, which we fall under, and then the bigger libraries. And I got a lot of great information from that. So if that ever comes around, I highly recommend it. One thing I took from it was using photographs in my posts as opposed to images, things like that. And I've started getting messages from Facebook that my posts have been like 129% more well received.
Yay! That's
Because of the
awesome. Good
photographs. And I'm like, yes. So, but it's also inspired me to kind of look to try to, like, if I'm featuring our games collection this week, and like instead of looking each image up and then putting it on a thing, I actually grouped them all, and then I went online to see people who game and like how they display their games and stuff like that. And I did a post like that instead. And people liked it. And, it's neat. It's neat to be able to tailor stuff like that.
That's great.
I'm glad you got something out of it because,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you wonder.
No, and the
I
branding
felt
too.
like I was babbling. So
Not at all. The branding suggestions were amazing.
I'm glad. Yeah.
And so we've started
It's
working on
simple. I
that.
think one of the things that one of the follow-ups from one of the libraries was, offline was, oh, my person who's doing the whatever thinks it's boring to use the same colors and the same typography, and it's just so boring, and we want to change it. And then I said, no, you have a brand for a reason, and you might think it's boring to you, but it isn't boring.
Mhm.
And it's hard sometimes when people want to push that and think, well, I want to use purple or I want to use whatever. No, I mean, your colors are your colors and your typography is that's your brand, and you have to stick with it. And I think that's hard for some people because they don't get it. They don't understand the value of brand. So, and it makes your life easier because you don't have to reinvent it.
Just
Like
plug and
sometimes you'll
play.
have 5 different typefaces in a one piece, and it's like, no, 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 no.
Right.
Keep it simple and stick to your brand, and it makes your life a lot easier. So
Definitely. We're learning that. We're kind of on our way with that. We haven't picked everything yet, so we're still playing with
yeah.
ideas and, and letting ourselves take the time to do the branding. We have our logo and our colors, but we've figured we need another color to go with. And so,
Mhm.
We're allowing ourselves to make those steps. If you don't know, this is Benny, so he'll be visiting. But anyway, so yeah, it was really helpful.
Well, I'm glad.
First
That's
off,
nice
yeah.
of you to say.
Thank you. Yes. So,
And we have a second, Angela popped in the chat, a second to Karen's view. She found the info in the library marketing makeover webinars very helpful. And she said for herself, as the director who wears many hats, she's working on branding, logo, and messaging. Kudos to you for being a director and a marketer and a librarian and a janitor and all the other zillion and one roles that you do, Angela. And then Romeo popped in the question in the chat here. Does anyone recall which library held a program about the dangers of Victorian houses?
Wow.
I do not know that one.
Okay, sit down. Sit. Okay, sit down, Mama. I don't know about that one. It sounds fascinating though,
Yeah,
because I'm
I
sure
can
there are a lot of.
wallpaper where it's the green wallpaper where it's arsenic, I know.
Mhm. Yep. And the the tiles, the asbestos tiles, things like that, you never know. Though I don't know if they did that in Victorian. I know they did it in my house.
Yep, and Angela popped in the chat. She is a rural library with herself and full-time and one other part-time staff member. So Angela, kudos to you, and if you have
Yeah.
any questions, pop them in the chat. We're here to help, those of
And
us
always
that can
reach
spend more
out.
time on marketing and share. We are here to share the knowledge.
And reach out via email too. Like if you go onto the site where all of our emails are, definitely.
Amen. All right.
Sit down.
Okay. And ADA accommodation. When was that? We had a,
Mm.
when was that? I want to say March.
Months ago. Yeah.
I know it wasn't wasn't the last 2 months, so maybe February, April, yeah, because I think March was taken over by the executive order had just come through,
Right. Here, let me move this. You can sit there.
so that took up March. So I'm guessing January or February is what. And I know there's a lot of great webinars out there on ADA accommodation for the websites. So I'll change topics. We had an interesting scenario. We ended up having to close. We have 3 levels in Southfield. And the 3rd level ended up being closed for 3.5 weeks because we had no air conditioning until last week.
Oh, wow.
And heat rises and sticks up there. And although it was one of those, like, even the cooler days were like, we're not going to open, close until this is solved. And so we had everybody on our 2nd floor, and on our 2nd floor, we have accessibility computers. So large screens, pedal bikes, mice. And all of a sudden people are like, you had that?
Oh my God.
Since they were forced onto that floor. All of a
That's
sudden,
amazing that you have those.
Courtesy of an IMLS grant that we got them. So, yeah, but it was harrowing for group study rooms. We found out it confirmed how much people love our group study rooms, and having 4 of those closed exacerbated the situation. But
yeah,
it did have its benefits of people discovering our accessibility center. So we have to look at the positives of it.
That's great though. Is today like a roundtable discussion about anything?
Yep, jump
Okay.
in.
I wanted to make sure. One thing I've been doing, and you may all already do this, but this is new to me, so I'm excited. Deb and I were talking about posting, and I was kind of I was sick for a couple times with that really long cold, so I was kind of out of it for a while. And when I got back, it was hard to get back in and figure out stuff to post. I mean, the events and everything, obviously. But we sat down and I said, you know what do we want from this? And what do we want to focus on? And so we had a really great meeting. And what it ended up with was, oh gosh, I came up with this schedule of posts. And so like Monday is one of our top tier digitals, like Libby, Canopy, or Comics Plus. Then we do mysteries on Monday, story time we always share on Mondays. And then like throughout the week, Mel Friends, either map or print from home on Thursdays. And then Friday is like our second tier of digital services like Mango, Freegal, Value Line. And so like every day I have something to look at. Like today I have to do a Mel post. And then we have Vital Voices, which is our book group. We have a non-topic or nonfiction topic on Tuesdays. And then I advertise about this baby play group. And so then when I'm doing this, I've started formulating templates. So like Mystery Mondays and like Fantasy Fridays, and then the of Note, which is today. It's all the same template. And I take out the photo of the book, put the new book in, fill in like the info about the book and just plop it on onto social media. And so it's really helped me fill my posts and like become more consistent, you know, so there's always a Monday mystery, there's always a Friday thing for fantasies. And so that's another thing I learned from that marketing is the consistency. And so then I also have a running schedule of what month is which, you know. September, it includes Back to School and Hobbit Day. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, Mystery Month, and then Asian American Pacific Islanders. So I've got that also to refer to. So every day when I sit down to schedule something, I write it on my planner, those 3 or 4 things that I have to focus on. When I'm done, I check them off, and then I know they're done for the day. I can also do it in advance. And so it's just been really helpful. And I got the idea sitting down with Deb, but also from the marketing makeover about the consistency and, you know, having things for our patrons to look for on certain days.
That's great. And Addie posted a question in the chat for the question for the group. How far ahead do you plan your social media? She's worked in places where they plan at a month and week at a time. And what does everybody else do?
I do a lot of weekly things, but for events, I try to get the stuff from the people creating the squares for like adult events and stuff. We have a person who does some of those. And so, and then for children's and teens, I try to get those a month in advance. And then I do like the, you know, once before and then like 3 times a week and stuff like that. And I just schedule it all at once. Duplicate, and in Meta, and that seems to help. So I also consult with like the kids and the tweens librarians to see like what they want in terms of scheduling. And then I just use the same, you know, the same post, but certain events we don't have an e-newsletter. So certain events we need to post 3 times a week, you know, up until it, because then we get people to sign up still, along with whatever we have in the library about it. And also, Meta will only let you schedule posts. They say a month, but it's not. It's like 28 to 29 days in advance. So if we have something that I'm sharing a lot, I'll mark in my calendar that I posted up until, you know, May 26th. And then on May 26th, I'll go, okay, do I need to keep posting this or not? You know, because they only let you post so far in advance.
Yeah, I'd say we work with the Meta limit because that's kind of our planner too. And so
Yeah.
we don't do it quite as consistently. We should get better about that, but we pop all of our events in for the month and then see which days, you know, okay, it's a little lighter this day. We can pop in a service one here, but we don't want to bombard people. So if we've got already 3 programs that we're promoting.
Right. Yeah.
And Mary posted, and they do 1 to 2 weeks ahead of time. All right. Well, I've got a question for the group. So we're trying to, well, we've got an opportunity. got to possibly do a lot of construction around the library to redo all of our ductwork for the HVAC system, which would involve closing floors for probably at least a month to a few months at a time. So our test run of the closing of the third floor inadvertently for a month gave us some insight. But because we're doing that, we also have the opportunity to do other construction work and rearrange spaces. And has anyone had like a good way they've told their community of like what do they want to see like for changes? Like not change, like we can't change hours, but we could change possibly spaces or offer something different to like rearrange things. Has anyone got any tips for that?
We did a whole community engagement thing back, well, it was before the pandemic, Kelly, when we were redoing each branch.
Yeah.
And so we asked people to come to the library and do post-it notes, and we did this whole thing. I mean, it was a really long process. And we incorporated what they want. And I think the challenge is people don't know what they want.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
ask them, but they don't really know what they want. So, but we did do that. We did this whole reimagining the library. We had this whole theme, and it took several months, and we got a lot of really good feedback. And that's how we decided to make some changes in the library, and we added outdoor space was a big thing. So we added really nice outdoor space at each branch, and that was before the pandemic when outdoor space was, it was kind of, well, we're glad that it happened that way, but we didn't really think about it, and having Wi-Fi outside and all that kind of stuff. And then just more interactive things for the kids to do. Like, I'm sure you've seen like it is part of the furniture. They'll have like a big opening and the kids can sit in there.
Mhm.
Kids love to crawl through things and do that sort of thing. So we added that to each branch. I mean, it was really interesting. And I don't remember all the specifics, but we did a really big community engagement, invited, at different times of the day, and really focused on bringing families and older people and the kids, and getting input across, a wide swath of the community.
Addie posted in the chat that they've used a whiteboard and had people write their thoughts on as they pass by. That's a really good thought.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's a good idea. We have a whiteboard.
Yeah.
Like up, but I think we write stuff on it, but that would be an interesting way to have it too. It's right by the drinking fountain, so people are there.
It's always good to have it where people are at. I was gonna say our whiteboards are just now that our third floor is back open, we've taken down all our signs because they were up on our whiteboards. So I've got those available again.
Well, that's good. So, Mary, when you said that you used Post-its, like how did that work?
Okay, so I don't know if you've ever been in a meeting where you're asked, questions or vote on something or whatever, and you take a sticky and you put it up on, so we just ask people to put, um, 2 or 3 words on a sticky, and then they would put it up on I have pictures of it. They have these big boards, and people at each location, and it was for a period of time, the meeting, and people stuck the stuff up there so we could kind of group, like if you had 10 of more study rooms or open later or whatever it was, you could kind of see what the consensus was.
That's okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so you
I
just
understand
stick
that.
the sticky note with the word on it. You stick it up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Or you could have words up there and have people vote.
Right.
I've done that way too, where you have 5 or 6 things, and then people stick their
Mhm.
by the, they're voting with their sticky note. You can do it that way too. And whatever's easy, any kind of passive, quote unquote, passive programming is fun to
Mhm.
do. And because then people can just, as they're, like you say, with that whiteboard, the same kind of thing. As they're walking by, they're like, oh, and they put their thing down. So it's kind of nice.
That is.
And it's easy. It's.
We actually
Like,
went through that same exercise, and it is
Mm.
a good exercise. We started it with we have I assume all libraries have a staff development day once a year. So we started it with staff offering suggestions, and from there we generated topics to poll the public about. But God bless our director. She took those big sticky notes full of little sticky notes and actually had them on her wall in her office for some time while she was generating even more ideas or compiling them. So that is a very good exercise, and you can really meet people where they are if you're saying you're putting them throughout the library and
Mm.
um, people want to feel involved in that. So it's an activity, it's a program.
Come to the library on this day. Leave
Right.
your.
Exactly. Bring your ideas.
But Heather popped in the chat for the 50th anniversary. They put out suggestion style jars and asked people to write their favorite memories of the library. And the response has been so great that we're going to just share them through January, but it's too good to stop. They're still posting them every Friday. And if your memory gets posted, you get a little swag item. That's wonderful that the response went above and beyond what you hoped.
Yeah. So I want to write that.
And I'm remiss. I accidentally missed in the chat. Romeo, congrats to you. They launched their seed library at the end of March, so great
Oh,
time
good.
to launch it.
Let's see.
Library. Excellent.
We have one of those too.
All right. Anyone else have questions for the group or thoughts or successes they can share?
I have a question. It's Philomena from Dearborn Heights. We have one of those large screen TVs by the circulation desk, and the program we've been using keeps breaking down. Does anybody have any recommendations for that?
Oh, what do we,
Does anybody still
We
use?
use Yodeck, which is a YODECK, Yodeck. It's all online and you can change, I change the stuff once a month and you just do a PowerPoint, which I then save as a PDF and it's all done electronically. So I upload it from my computer and it goes to all 3 locations at one time. Yodeck.com, and you have to have a Raspberry. Don't ask me what that is.
Raspberry
You have
Pi?
to have a Raspberry
A
on
Raspberry
the,
Pi?
on the
Okay.
a Raspberry Pi. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
have a Raspberry Pi on the monitor,
Mhm.
and then that. Anyway, our tech people set it up, but yeah, and it's not really crazy expensive. It's a few $100 a year. Yodeck.com. And if you wanted to know more, send me an email, Philomena,
Okay.
and I can get the stuff from our tech people because don't ask me the tech stuff. I have no idea.
No,
But
thank
it
you.
works great. And it's I just do it right from my computer. I save it as a PDF and then go into the Yodeck dashboard and send the stuff out to the branches.
Thank you.
Yep.
You're
And
welcome.
Jamie popped in the chat that they do a PowerPoint and then pop it onto a USB and update
Oh.
it once a month that way.
We use the service too, and I was trying to look and see if I could figure out what it was. Deb handles that. And she just makes things in Canva and it gets uploaded. I don't understand all the things, but Philomena, if you want to email me, I can find out too if you're looking for a different thing. I'm at Huntington Woods Library,
Okay,
and
thanks.
let me put my name here, my email.
Thank you.
Sure. But I do know we have a Raspberry Pi also.
Okay.
And they are becoming more available. They were scarce at one time, but now they're available again.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. I welcome any contact you have.
And Romeo wanted to give another shout out to Heather and the library memories. She and up at Romeo, they ask their Facebook group members once a month for library memories and share those. And she gets lots of fun stories. And hi, Midnight.
Midnight wants to meet Benny.
Midnight is the Betty and Betty. They should meet up here.
Meet
So.
on Benny. I oh, what was it? Now I forgot. I'm sorry. What were we talking? What were you saying?
Facebook memories
Yes,
and
yes. Okay. Yeah. I took what was it? I think it was a Libby list of like the top 10 books, and like, oh, in terms of patron and like evaluation and stuff like that. I did a post where I took the top 10 Libby books, like, Emily Henry and Onyx Storm and all those I get Libby Life, so it's like I use a lot of their info. I always verify whether or not we carry them though. But for these top 10, we carried all of them except I think one. And so I put together a post where I just took the covers, and instead of just putting them in a line, I went like this, all over the post, and then numbered them. And so I said, how many of these have you read? Which was your favorite? And people actually responded. I'm trying to do interactive posting, and they're like, "Oh, I read 1, 2, 5, and 8. 5 was my favorite." Stuff like that. And I don't know, it just sort of engaged people, giving something numbers to refer to, and just again, it's like the different kinds of posts I'm trying to do instead of your just generic. Here's a book, do you like it? Kind of thing. And so anyway. That's another thing. And funny story, I flipped it upside down because it's a funny story. Anyway.
hey, that make people look at it a little closer. Like, wait a minute.
Wait, it's upside down. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
funny story. And which is based in Michigan, actually. She's a Michigan writer. I was like floored. I did not realize that at first. It's actually a good book.
That it is.
Mhm.
I am a fan of her stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. We also have been doing the read-alikes. So they're sort of like when I planned this out with Deb, we came up with like I Wish Wednesday. And so I Wish Wednesday, not Irish Wednesday. And so like, are you waiting for this? Well, you could read these things while you're waiting. Are you on the wish list for that? Or did you like this? Did you like Onyx Storm? Well, then here are like 3 other things you might enjoy. And some of it is people have probably already read them, but maybe not, and might introduce them to a new author or series. And also, we're focusing too, there's like this genre romantasy, which is becoming more and more. So we're trying to find these hybrid genres and share them. And our teen librarian is really good. She has like a lot of good books, and so many of them can be read, adults or teens, tweens. And so she has a lot of great recommendations too. And she's been on before, Jillian,
Yeah.
and you may know her, but and she's like this huge Goodreads person. So like she's read everything, so she can kind of, get that.
I've always said you could be too young for a book, but you're never too old for a book. Because
No.
in teen novels, if you want a book that's going to grab you from page one, grab a teen book because they have to hold teenagers' attention. So if they can hold the teenagers' attention, they can also hold our attention too.
Yeah. That's another thing we're investigating too, is that we have 2 Lucky Day copies of Onyx Storm, and we also have it on the shelf. But we also bought the 100 metered access on Libby, which I'm doing a lot of the Overdrive selections and stuff along with Deb. And we found that we still have 2 copies of Onyx Storm on our Lucky Day shelf, but 60 of our 100 metered access copies have been used.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, online versus in library, what age group might that be? And so it's a thing we're starting to kind of look into to see, the online books, and then trying to provide links and stuff like that. That's another thing I learned from the marketing thing is, if you're approaching someone online, you should give them an online way to access what you're talking about. And so, trying to share links when I can and stuff like that. But it was fascinating to learn that many copies, and then the Lucky Day ones are just sitting there, so it's kind of an interesting way to find an audience.
Right. Anyone else have any other thoughts, questions?
Yeah, I've got an interesting way to find a new audience.
Mhm.
Reach out to your local improv comedy actors and have them come in your library and do impersonations of Moira Rose.
Oh, wow.
Follow us on socials for more. It was a big hit.
Cool.
What was the program, Jeff? I'm sorry.
No, it was just summer reading promotion. I found a local comedian who does impersonations.
Oh, that's amazing.
Super fun. We'll be making a lot of videos over the summer. Tap into your community. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
Got artists everywhere. Hopefully.
All right. Well, there's no other questions for this month. Our next meeting will be back together June the 17th. School will be out. Summer will be in place. Hopefully the weather will be warmer. At least Metro Detroit area is chilly at the moment. So I was hoping to put the sweaters away for the year, but I brought this one out today. So
Oh, the hoodies are out.
yeah. All right, I will send the recording out later today. And in the meantime, if anyone has any questions, toss it up on the listserv. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good to see everyone.
Yes.
Stay warm, everybody. He
Yes.
said on May,
Maddie, I
May
hope you
20th.
got some good stuff out of this, and we'll hope to see you again next month.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Kelly, for doing this.
Bye.
Thank you.